Hi, my name's Mark. I'm one of the pastors here at Trillium. I read a story recently from the 1950s of a patient really sick with cancer. He's on his deathbed and this new drug comes out and he wants to be included in the trial, but he doesn't really qualify. But because he's so sick and because he's so persistent, the doctor includes him in the trial, and he gets injected with this drug, and within a matter of days, the tumor mass in his body's gone down by half, and within a few weeks he has amazing health. And this goes on for a couple of months, and all of a sudden he notices in the newspaper that there are reports that the drug that's being tested on him isn't very effective against cancer. And he loses faith, I suppose, and the symptoms return and the cancer comes back and he's really sick again. He goes back into the doctor's office and the doctor tells him not to pay any attention to the news reports because in fact there's a new and improved version of the drug available, and he injects the patient with water. And amazingly, the patient has an incredible healing, a miraculous healing, even more powerful than the first time, and he comes back and he's restored to normal life. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, there's a power at work here that's bringing about healing in this man's life, even though the drug doesn't seem to be having any effect. We at Trillium believe that that's because we are all a son of God, each of us, and we are part of the one Son of God, and that means the creative power of God lives within us. And we believe the real difference between God and us is the fact that God creates only through love. Pure holy love, and we create through love, but we create through fear and anxiety and dread and hostility and condemnation. And of course we create dark shadows for ourselves. We create the dark shadows, maybe even a nightmare scenario for our lives. And we see this in evidence in the world around us. I've been reading a biography on Adolf Hitler, and he had a incredible power to create, but he creates through fear and dread and hostility and anxiety. He captivates a whole nation on their own fears and anxieties. And he brings about a calamity that we call World War II that impacted so many people's lives. There's power, but it's not a power rooted in love. And you and I, we have the power to create in our own lives in so many ways. I mean, Peter, we read in church last Sunday, was arrested by Herod Agrippa, the grandson of Herod the Great. And he's thrown into jail, and he's put there to wait for his trial, and the early church gathers to pray for his deliverance and release, and miraculously an angel shows up. And the light of the angel pushes back the dark shadows of the cell, and the chains come off. And the angel guides Peter past two sets of guards, past an iron gate, and there's Peter on the street, and he goes to the home of John Mark, where he knows some of the early churches gathered, the ones that are praying for him in his deliverance. And he knocks on the door, and Rhoda, a servant, comes up, and she hears his voice, and she runs back and tells the group that's gathered there, praying for Peter's deliverance, that there's Peter at the doorway, and they won't believe her. They won't believe her. They think she's crazy. She's lost it. Their mindset won't allow them to understand that a miracle's taken place in their midst. And finally, because of her persistence, they come to the front door, and they see Peter there free. And they celebrate, and then he leaves town. I think about that guy who got the injection of water. For 2 months, he has incredible health. And then he reads more newspaper reports that says the drug that's being tested on him is totally worthless against cancer. And he falls into the darkness of his own dread, and the disease comes back, and he dies. And it seems to me that there was another way for him to see what was unfolding for him. Maybe the drug was worthless, but there was still some power of healing, even miraculous healing going on in his life, and he was still well. So what was it about? The mystery was moving through him that we still ponder this day. What made him well? What makes us well? What makes you well, and me too? It's here, right before our eyes.